Okay, so this is our temple deity, Sri Sri Nitai Sundar Gaura Hari. Nitai Sundar means beautiful Nityananda. Gaura Hari means golden. Gaura means gold. Okay, Hari means Krishna's name. So Gaura Hari. There's so many names. So Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya. When he was born, he was named Nimai because he was born under a neem tree. That's why he's called Nimai. And as he grew up, he was given a name Visvambara. Then after that, he was later on when he became very scholarly, he was also called Nimai Pandit. After that, he got Sri Krishna Chaitanya when he got sannyasi. And then we also call him Mahaprabhu. And because he is golden in color, he is called Gauranga or Gaurahari. Like that, okay? Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. Om Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vinasha Narasimha Iti Namine. Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta. Excuse me. Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, understanding of Gita. Subhadra, his Lord's sister. Yes, younger sister, the only sister for Krishna and Balaram. Okay, she is Mother Durga. All right. Okay, Mother Durga is Krishna's sister, isn't it? Okay, understanding of Gita. Anybody would like to go first for the first slide reading?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Lata Mataji, come.
Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. Our research work is imperfect because we are researching things with imperfect senses. We have to accept perfect knowledge which comes down, as it is stated in Bhagavad Gita, by the Parampara, disciplic succession. We have to receive knowledge from the proper sources in disciplic succession, beginning with the Supreme Spiritual Master, the Lord Himself, and handed down to a succession of spiritual masters. Arjuna, the student who took lessons from the Lord Sri Krishna, accepts everything that he says without contradicting him. One is not allowed to accept one portion of Bhagavad Gita and not another. No, not another. No. We must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation, without deletion, and without our own whimsical participation in the matter. The Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is received from the transcendental sources, and the first words were spoken by the Lord Himself. The words spoken by the Lord are called Apaurusheya, meaning that they are different from words spoken by a person of the mundane world who is infected with 4 defects. Mundana is sure to commit mistakes, is invariable illusioned, has the tendency to cheat others, and is limited by imperfect senses. With these 4 imperfections, one cannot deliver perfect information of all pervading knowledge.
All right, thank you, Lata Mataji. So the first point here, the introduction. So this one we learn in chapter 4. Okay, the spiritual knowledge should be received from guru to disciple to guru to disciple, like that, right? It has to be cascaded down. All right, and then when the chain is broken, the Lord came again to give the knowledge to Arjuna. So here it is mentioned that Arjuna accepts everything that Krishna says without contradiction, which means he cannot just take one portion of it and say cannot take the other portion. Oh, I'm going to just take the meditation chapter. I will not go into the bhakti chapter. Or I'm going to just do the karma yoga activity, but I'm not going to do the jnana yoga section. So we cannot do like that. All right, it has to be taken as whole, right? Like a pill is given to you by doctor. You cut and take, no, I think this dose is too heavy for me, so can I just take half of this and later I'll take half? No, the pill has to be swallowed together. All right, then only it will work. If not, don't know what confusion it will make. All right, so cannot take half. So let's say you want to take adult medicine, give to the children. You cannot give the medicine. Oh, never mind, half. No, cannot means cannot. Okay, so if you want to take some information from Bhagavad Gita, then you have to consider everything together and the decision. Okay, so my internet connection shows unstable, so just alert me if I go lagging. All right. Okay, so at the end, after giving everything, Krishna will tell Arjuna, okay, Arjuna, now I've given you everything. Have you listened with attentive mind? Now you make your choice. Then Arjuna will say, I will follow your instruction. Okay, so whatever it is, Krishna still gives us the free will to decide. All right. Okay, what else? Okay, here there's a difference given between words that are given by God in Vedic scriptures and words that are given by normal human. So why we say the words given by God is the best, because it is as it is. All right, and it is given without defects. However, if you look at the information given by a normal human being, you will always find some defects in it, because the human itself has 4 defects. This one we will go deeper in level 3. Okay, one of the first few weeks. All right, so just as a basic understanding, there are 4 defects: sure to commit mistakes. Okay, you commit mistake, we tend to commit mistake. So all these with examples we will do in Bhagavad level 3. Okay, we tend to become illusioned. We think this is what we see, but actually it is not. So you cannot see whether this thing is going to the back or going to the front or going to the down. We don't know. Okay, sometimes you put the straw in a cup of water, then you think the straw is actually bended, but actually it's not. So this is illusion. Okay, so we tend to become illusion. Number
Mataji, you're
3,
lagging.
we see things with imperfect. Yeah.
Mataji, you're
Okay,
lagging.
so and then am I lagging? Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Okay, Mataji.
How is it now, Mataji? Okay, so where did I go? Berserk.
The dice.
Okay, here. Yeah, so this is one example. You can see whether it's going up or going down, going left or right. We can't see. Another example is when you put straw in a glass of water, it may appear like the straw is like bent, but actually it's not. The straw has been always straight. So that means that we can become illusioned. All right. Next, imperfect senses. Okay, our senses are imperfect because naturally you will know that after a certain distance we can't see things clearly. All right, sometimes we need reading glasses, sometimes we need night vision glasses. All right, and then if you compare to some animals, our hearing is not as good as theirs. All right, animals can hear very low frequency, low decibels, and we can't. All right. So it means that we have imperfect. Forces have tendency to cheat others. So we try to put in some interpretation to satisfy, to meet our objective. All right. So it's not selfless. Sometimes people don't give the information as it is truthfully. So some modification will be there. So this is to cheat others. So we are always In fact, we are infected with these 4 defects. So when we have these 4 defects, we cannot write scriptures on our own and sell it. Okay, so we have to take the word from the Vedas and given to us by great personalities who are self-realized souls free from defects. Like Vyasadeva, who compiled the Vedas, he is free from defects because he is literary incarnation of Lord Krishna. Okay, so we need to know who is writing, where we are getting the information from to be. Okay, so with that, we are entering chapter 17, the divisions of faith. So what are the 3 modes of nature? What are the 3? Now, should be expert already, yeah? What are the 3 modes?
Goodness, passion, and ignorance.
Passion and ignorance.
Yes, very good.
Mataji, you're lagging again.
Okay, so remember in chapter unstable again, right? Okay, give me a moment. I think I will change it to my hotspot. It's not even raining. Lata Mataja, I made your co-host just in case I got kicked out.
Okay, Mataji.
Okay. Okay, I've changed already, so hope it's fine now. Okay. All right. Okay, so we are going back to chapter 16 for a bit. All right. Who remembers what is the title for chapter 16? Remember the tree?
The divine and the demoniac.
Very good. So if you put the tree upside down, right? Where is the divine and where is the demoniac? Up, down. So which one is which? Who can tell? Okay, let's start with the lower one. Who is residing at the lower portion of the tree where all the leaves and branches are?
The
Animal.
the
Aquatic.
fish, the
Aquatic
animal.
animals.
Yes, so the animal species. Okay, so that means these are demoniac sites. All right, because they do not have knowledge of the scriptures or they disobey the scriptures. Not only actual, literally animals, but human beings that act like animal because they don't follow scriptures. All right, so if you go further, you have towards the root, you have
The divine nature.
the divine nature people, living entities. And why they are called divine? What do they follow?
Scriptures, injunction.
Spiritual.
Yes, very good. They are the faithful followers of Shastras. They are called divine, and the faithless are demoniac. Now, a question will come. Say that I don't follow the scriptures, but I still pray. Where do I fall? This is the question that Arjuna will ask, which opens this chapter 17. Okay, so they are not following scriptures, but they are not entirely bad either. They are still praying. Okay, so this is where Krishna will talk about the worship, and there are 4 other things which we will come later. All right, so here there's a summary. There are 3 types of faith corresponding to and evolving from the 3 modes of material nature. So Krishna is saying the faith, you don't follow scriptures, but you have some faith to some entities that you are worshipping. So how do you categorize the faith? You categorize the faith based on the 3 modes. Okay, remember, one follows scripture, divine. One who doesn't follow scripture, demoniac. One who doesn't follow the scripture but still have some sort of faith, they are fall under 3 modes. So you try to draw the diagram, you will get the picture. Okay. All right, so let's move on. So here the faith is defined in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Who can read for us the whole thing, the bolded one and the one at the below? Anybody convenient to read? Kala Mataji?
Okay, Mataji.
Okay.
Shraddha is confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotional service.
Okay, that's all, Mataji. That's okay.
Okay.
All right. So thank you, Mataji. So here the word Shraddha is used. Okay, Shraddha means faith, confidence, firm faith that by me rendering the service to the Lord, it will fulfill all my other subsidiary responsibilities. So having that faith is Shraddha. Okay, so that is faith. Okay, so under the certain teaching, you are rendering devotional service to God. That is your faith. So this faith can be categorized in 3 if we do not follow scriptures. Okay. All right, so let's move on. So first, Krishna will talk about faith, worship, and then food. Go to food. All right. Then sacrifice, austerities, and charity. Okay, so sacrifice and austerities, don't confuse, though it is not overlapping. We have distinguished differences. Okay, charity and the importance of Om Tat Sat. Okay, that it purifies activities. Okay, so again, putting in perspective, we will cover worship, food, austerity, sacrifice, charity. So all these 5 things, we are going to categorize them in the 3 modes. Okay, so follow, yeah. Okay, so first we are going to do worship. Okay, now this is where the question from Arjuna comes. Okay, who would like to read? Ye shastra vidimuttuscha yajante shraddhayan vitaha tesham nittat Krishna Satvamaho Rajastamaha.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, Mataji, please read.
Arjuna inquires, O Krishna, what is the situation of those who do not follow the principles of scriptures but worship according to their own imagination? Are they in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance?
Thank you, Mataji. So this is the question from Arjuna, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, so Krishna will explain that when one does not keep his faith based on strict injunctions, his faith become based on his mentality. Whatever he thinks, that's how the faith will be. So this mentality is influenced by these 3 modes. Okay, it is a product of the 3 modes. Basically, whatever we are thinking, it's a product of the 3 modes around us. Are you thinking in the mode of goodness? Is our mentality in the mode of passion? Or our mentality is in the mode of ignorance? So all these modes, they're always working. You don't see them, but it's working around us, and it influences how we are thinking, doing things, and behaving. Okay, so remember chapter 14, we did the 3 modes of material nature. Okay, how important it is to cultivate the mode of goodness. Okay, remember, staying near the airport doesn't mean anything unless you take the flight and go to the country that you want to. You can't be feeling so proud that I'm staying near the airport, I'm staying in the airport. So if you do not move from there, then it's not really a beneficial situation to be in. Okay, so you have to transcend the mode of goodness. Okay, next we went to chapter 15. What was in the chapter 15? The banyan tree, right? So the top part where people are on the mood of goodness, the lower part, passion and ignorance. Now, chapter 16 was talking about, chapter 16 was about the divine and the demonic. Okay, so remember chapter 15, it talks about, it splits people based on the mode. And then in chapter 16, we went by divine and demonic. Okay, so in the 17th chapter, Arjuna is asking, so these people who don't follow the scriptures, where they are in the tree. Okay, so this is what Arjuna is asking. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Okay, right. So the question is, it is mentioned that Arjuna foresee, that time he foresees a lot of things. He foresees that people in Kali Yuga, they are prone to pick a person, glorify them and worship them as God. So all these questions will be answered now. All right. And this kind of people, when they worship according to their own whims, do they attain perfectional stage of life? So basically, this is what he is questioning. Okay. Okay, so here Krishna is answering. Is there anybody who would like to read for us?
I'll read, Mataji.
Okay.
Okay, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, according to the modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul, one's faith can be of three kinds: in goodness, in patience, or in ignorance. Now hear about this.
Okay, so thank you, Mataji. So again, if a person does not follow the Vedas, they will follow their natural instincts. So these natural instincts are influenced by goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay, so I'm repeating this so that you remember. Okay, so who are under these modes? Those who know the rules and regulation, but they don't want to follow. Because why? Why wouldn't people follow some rules and regulation? Let's brainstorm a bit. Why wouldn't people follow rules and regulation? What could be? Could be the reason. I don't want to follow that rules. Oh, I don't want to follow this regulation. Why people would do that? Because
maybe it doesn't, like, how to say, suit their thought process or their lifestyle or something like that.
okay, what else? They follow others who don't follow. No knowledge. Okay. Okay, the thing is, like, they know there are rules and regulation there, so probably they know that is the best rules and regulation, but they don't want to follow.
They just choose to ignore.
Choose to ignore. Why? There must be some underlying reason. Why wouldn't we stop at the red light or slow down at the yellow light? Why would we break the rules? Why? Why could it be that?
Because of Kali Yoga.
What is that? Okay, yes, you are there, Mataji. What is one of the symptoms in Kali Yuga?
They are passion. More people are passion and ignorant.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does that make them?
Demoniac.
Demoniac. Okay, they follow senses. What does the sense telling them to do?
Because they are contaminated by sense gratification and material matter.
Okay, that one too high already, Mataji. Very simple reason only.
Laziness.
Yeah, laziness.
Oh, lazy.
Laziness. They simply don't want to follow because they are lazy.
I think laziness, I think that is not the word. Oh yeah, lazy.
So laziness, they give up following these rules. Okay, so because of that, they fall under the trap of the three modes. Okay, so how do we acquire the certain modes? Because of our previous activities. I mean, that's how it happens. Okay, and how do we change this mode? Okay, now that I know I'm so much under mode of passion, I am so much under mode of ignorance, with the knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, now I can categorize my activities. Oh, the whole day, so much of activities I did in the mode of passion. My activities in the mode of goodness has been so little, something like that, right? So if you can analyze our life that way, and if we need help, most of the time we need help to overcome that, then we will seek the help of a spiritual master. He can give us direction. Okay, all right. So we have to understand that a person who is mode of a person can never be in the mode of goodness entirely. Sometimes he's a mixture of goodness and passion. Sometimes it's a passion and ignorance. If you remember the color, right? The yellow, red, and blue, right? The primary colors. So it's always the mixture of the color. Okay. So if they are always not up, they are not following the scriptures, that's for sure they are not on the mode of goodness. Okay. And if they follow their own methods of worship, then it's very difficult for them to become free from birth and death. Okay. They may be some mode of goodness, okay, but there'll be more of passion and ignorance. They are driven by the mode of passion. Oh, I want this, I'm going to worship this way. Or I like to do this, so I'm going to do it this way. So they are like that. Their own senses and whims overcome the regulation and prescriptions is given in the scriptures. Okay, so now Krishna is going to categorize different worships under 3 modes. Huh? We are actually repeating this, so I'm sure you can recall something from level 1. Okay, 17.4. Somebody please read for us, please.
I read.
Yeah, okay, Mat.
Men in the mood of goodness worship the demigods. Those in the mood of passion worship the demons. And those in the mood of ignorance worship ghosts and spirit.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So those who worship Devas, okay, of course, the worship of Devas have been prescribed in the Vedas. So these are the people who wants to worship the Devas but don't want to follow the scriptures. So this is it. We explain it this way. Okay, there are rules and regulations. Okay, yagyas and so on, but they don't want to follow that, or maybe they are not simply not aware. Okay. And or maybe they find it's very difficult for them to do, so they want to do their way. I'm just going to give this, I'm just going to do it this way, I'm just going to do that way, because they still have some love and sentiments toward the particular devas, so they will do according to their wishes. Okay, so the general categorization is that people in the mode of goodness, they worship the demigods, the devas, okay, the great devas. Okay, and usually they do with some intention: money, good wife, good husband, good career, pass exams, this kind of benefit. They usually go for that. Usually we do business, right? I give you this, you give me this, right? That's not supposed to be. It has to be selfless service. Okay, and next, the mode of passion. People in the mode of passion worship the demons. Okay, we don't really see demons with the 2 horns nowadays. We don't. But we have people with demoniac mentality. All right. Apparently, long ago, there was a man actually worshipped Hitler. Okay. And there are people build temples for actresses. Okay, these are all in the mode of passion. And we have people who, claim that they are God, or they are the incarnation of Kali Yuga, and they get some followers, and their followers also worship them, and then they call him God. All right, so this is mode of passion. And from my experience last time, long ago, before I really joined ISKCON, I came across this meditation center, and this guy does a lot of magic tricks to get attention, and people start worshiping him as God. All right. And when I questioned them, they said, no, he is not calling himself as God. People are calling him God. So how can you, hold him liable? So for this, I can quote a story where Prabhupada had this particular disciple or disciples, I think 2 of them, and they were going around and telling Prabhupada is God, Prabhupada is God, So when the news came to Prabhupada got very furious and called them and asked them, gave them preaching activity in some Arab countries, Middle East. So there, the preaching activity is very difficult, very challenging. So here it shows that, of course, they came back and Prabhupada said, okay, you shouldn't do this. This is a lesson learned, like that. So here Prabhupada says that even if the guru doesn't claim that he is God, but he realized that disciples are calling him as God, he has to put a stop to him. Okay, he always say a man who claims that he is God is a dog. This part Prabhupada was very, very clear. No worshipping human as God. Okay, so we need to put stop to all these people who claim that they are God and cheating the followers. Okay, what is the benefit if you can eat glasses, or you can walk on the water, or you can walk on the razor sharp knife or sword? What is the purpose? Can you stop my birth and death? This is the question that we can ask them. Can you take me closer to Krishna? This is the question that we can ask. Okay, no need to talk anything else. Can you stop birth and death? Can you remove this? Can you give me a life without disease? Can I live forever? Okay, so it's very important. This part of knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, this is very important. It should be an eye opener for many of us. Okay, and of course, if you are here, then we understand that that shouldn't be the actual way of worship. All right, but what we can do is we can share this knowledge to people outside. Okay, and we know how to counter them, justify them that an ordinary man is not fitting to be God. A God's incarnations or appearances should have been predicted in scriptures like Bhagavatam. Like the Bhagavatam has predicted the appearance of Lord Buddha, appearance of Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it also predicted the appearance of Kalki. Even the village name and the parents' name also given already. So we just have to wait. Of course, we're not going to wait until then. All right, it's a long way to go. Okay, so
Mataji,
yes, Mataji.
sometimes, right, people believe in, like, how to say, in people who get trance whenever they go to temple or what. Does that fall under worshipping of the demons? Because I personally actually don't believe in people who get that trance and everything. I'm like more to, I pray to the God enough. I don't need like any secondary people or like third party for me to deal with the God. For me, it's like that. But do they fall under like the worshipping the demons? Do they fall under the passion?
Yeah, they will fall under the mode of ignorance.
Or
So
ignorance.
the mode of ignorance is worshipping ghosts and spirits. So if you study the trance, the science of trance, what they do, the rituals will make the person's body weaker. The aura becomes thin, because we always have some aura around us. The aura becomes thin, and the other souls can actually reside in our body and exhibit their characters. Okay, so gods do not come into our body. Our body is not that great for them to come, first of all. And this is the way people cheat others, those who want to believe, okay, can you give me the 4 numbers, can you make my daughter pass?
Yeah.
All this I've done because my father did it, so I followed him, so I have seen all this, and I can tell, why is he drinking alcohol, why is he smoking, does God do that?
Yeah, exactly.
And then all this, I hope I'm not offending anybody here, but this is a fact that somebody, a devotee, he said in his early life, he followed all these Kaval Devams, and he said none of them took meat when they were alive, because they were alive long ago, because they were like a bodyguard, they were guardians to people who stayed in estates, things like that, so they never took meat. So, and when he started questioning them, and he went into studying about them, their histories, and he started questioning them, then they say, oh, you're very offensive, you shouldn't be asking these questions. So that's where he gradually detached from there, and he came in contact with Krishna conscious devotees, and he realized, yeah, it does make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why do we want to sacrifice animals to these gods, and they entering people's body? Actually, it's not. Even recently, there was a class in Sunday Feast. Very rare demon attacks human. They don't simply come. So usually when we think there's a demon attack or ghost attack, it's usually health issues or mental issues. So it's always best to get checked. All right. He said there is some demons attacking, but it's very, very rare. So that one is like totally different topic, he said. Yeah, so to answer your question, so this is actually We don't want to get cheated by that. All right. So the spirits are all around us. They are in subtle body. Like I told you, this is soul and it's covered by 3 layers of subtle body. What is that? Anybody remembers? Mind,
Intelligent and ego.
yes. So this is the 3 layers of subtle body. It takes impression from one body to another body. So when we die, we are shedding only the gross body, but this soul covered by these three layers is roaming around. If let's say it's a suicide case, right? The thing will be roaming around until it gets a gross body. So these are the soul, they actually get into another person's body. Okay. So because when you're in subtle body form, you're not able to drink, you're not able to eat. So they're always looking for gross body. Okay, so what happens is that when people worship such entities, they fall under the mode of ignorance. Okay, this is worshipping dead people's spirits, ghosts, black magics. So all this go under ignorance, which we should stay away from. Okay, so there are demons, like I told you, we do not find people with 2 horns on the head. You don't really see them, but these are people with demoniac mentalities and worshipping them. That's one. And people who claim that they are God, this one also we should avoid. These are all in the mode of passion because they want some benefit. All right, so the meditation group that I used to go, they say, oh, if you do this, you will get a car. If you do this, you will get a good job. All right, this is all in the mode of passion because you have intense desire to get material things. And when there is annihilation, all this will go away. Okay, because it's temporary. Okay, only spiritual benefit will last. So that's why it's recommended. It's not very intelligent to ask material things because it don't last. Okay, God knows what to give us based on our karmic reactions and the influence of 3 modes of nature on us. Okay, so clear, huh? Okay, so yeah, you see, when we want to do a lot of good things, okay, we always think that we want to go to heavenly planets, but the fact is that as per given in Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuvana Loka. Brahma Bhuvana Loka means up to the Loka of Brahma, Satya Loka, repeated birth and death take place. They might not have sufferings like what we have now, headache, exam, loans. They don't have these problems, but they take birth there and they die when the time comes. What does it mean by the time comes? When they die. When do they die? Who knows? Who wants to try luck? People in heavenly planets and Brahma Loka, up to Brahma Loka, they also die. Why they die? When they die.
When they expire,
when they exhaust their,
they will come down.
They exhaust their what, Mataji?
Their
pious credits, right? So it's just like we are taking so much of money, we are going vacationing lah. Okay, after we finish all our money, we come back to Malaysia lah. Like that. So we are accumulating a lot of credit. We do a lot of good charities, a lot of good things, so we get a lot of punya karmas. Okay, so that will take us to heavenly planets or Satya or Tapaloka or whatever Loka up to Brahma Loka. That is the topmost. Okay, so but when your money finish there, your pious credit finish, then boom, you have to come back to the material planet. Only thing, because you have done a lot of good things, you'll be born in some rich family or educated family, good family, decent family. Okay, but you're still going through the birth, you will still have disease, you will still go through old age, and finally you will still die. Okay, so then you born again, you do good things again, you go back to the higher planetary system, and then you come back again. So can you see, up and down, up and down. We have been doing this for a long time. Finally, we are here. Okay, so what is beyond this, Mataji? I want to go beyond this goodness. I don't want this goodness keep coming back here. Okay, so that is the solution the Bhagavad Gita gives. What is the solution? But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. So Krishna doesn't simply promise, and we do not find any scriptures mentioning these kind of verses. And Lord Krishna boldly declares here. This is a fact that Krishna is giving. Okay, so how do we do that? We take the association of devotees or spiritual master to purify our life. Okay, all right, so we are done with the worship. All right, goodness, who do they worship? People in the mode of goodness?
Demigod.
Okay, very good, Devas. People in the mode of passion?
Demon.
Demon, yes. So we have to understand what does that mean by demon. Number 3, mode of ignorance. People in the mode of ignorance?
Ghosts.
Ghosts and spirits.
Spirits, yes. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to moving to the 4 big categories. Okay, one can make out the mode of faith by observing the activities of eating, sacrifice, austerity, and charity. Okay, the food, sacrifice, what kind of yagya is under the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Food also got food in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Austerity. Austerity means penances, things that you are so disciplined in doing. So that is austerity. And then charity. Okay, it's obviously it's about you doing good things to people. So that one also you have to be very careful. Are you donating in the mode of goodness, or you're doing in the mode of passion, or you're doing in the mode of ignorance? So very good. So this is how we want to live our life. Make sure that consciously we are doing things on the mood of goodness. Maybe all this while we never realized it. So now we're going to do it consciously. Okay, so first we will do the food. Okay, so food, we have the 3 modes. In the mode of goodness, we have food that are juicy, wholesome, fatty, pleasing to heart. Fatty means butter, not the fry oil pakora every day. All right, so this kind of food will increase duration of life, purify, strengthen, gives good health, and gives us satisfaction. So the examples are like milk, yogurt, fruit, vegetable. All right, so these are in the mode of goodness. Okay, and they are grown naturally on the land, so they can give such good qualities. Okay, next is food in the mode of passion. So these are the food that are too bitter, too sour, and pungent. Pungent means very strong smell. Okay, so generally Krishna conscious devotee, they don't take pungent, very strong smelling food like onion, garlic. Okay, salty, hot, dry, and burning. This one all increase the mode of passion. Oh, spicy, hot, like that. So this will give us distress, misery, and disease. Okay. Next is food in the durian. We all eat durian, but it was not forbidden. It's just that it's not allowed to offer to Krishna. Right, Mataji? Yashoda Priya Mataji? We are not allowed to offer to Krishna.
Offer durian to
Yeah,
Krishna.
we can't. And even though it's Ekadasi is fruit, technically it qualifies as fruit on Ekadasi, but we are not going to take that also because it's a very passionate fruit. Okay, even food also can be passionate. Okay, next is ignorance. Food that are tasteless, decomposed means half gone lah. Okay, spoiled, almost spoiling. Putrid, food consisting of remnants. Okay, balance. Untouchable things like meat. All right, what is the effect? Causes one to be sleepy, cause laziness, and mercilessness. Okay, remember one of the 4 pillars is mercy. How mercy is destroyed? By
killing.
Yes,
Killing.
by animal slaughtering.
Slaughtering.
Okay, all right. So these are generally not healthy. Anything that walks on the earth, in the sea, or that flies in the air, we do not touch them. Okay, so the proper food for people is in the mode of goodness. Grains, beans, vegetable. Remnants means balanced food. sakibaki food. So you cannot mix that and then eat. We shouldn't do that also. That is the mode of ignorance, which means basically those are non-fresh food. So fresh food should fall here, goodness. So we have to be careful on that. And then,
Really, Amataji, that one.
sorry?
Like if we like keep it inside the fridge and then we eat the next day.
Yeah, actually it's in the mode of ignorance. It's not the mode of goodness.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, scientifically also we should not eat old food heated up
Yeah, very
because it will affect the colon. Because my mom has advanced stage colon cancer and she has colorectal cancer, and I know her lifestyle all the while that she always keep in the fridge, heat up, and doctor said this could be a cause also. Okay, yeah, so we have to be very careful on that.
yeah.
Right, so it's good that we follow this Ayurvedic way. This is a food and the mode of goodness. Okay, too salty, too salty you get BP, right? Too high sodium, and then too spicy you get piles, right? So have to be careful lah. Okay, so when we understand the nature of this food, then we can make wise choice of food, wise choice to work on our food. Okay, and if you want to see whether the person is always in the a person is goodness or passion or ignorance, then you can observe what kind of food they eat, whether they eat too much of spicy food, too much of old food, then it will influence their mentality. All right. Okay, so what have we covered so far? Who can recap? What did we cover the first aspect?
Faith, our faith.
Faith, yes, the worship, right? And then we came to food. Okay, next we are moving to sacrifice. Okay, sacrifice. People sacrifice a lot of things. All right, I sacrifice so much. Okay, let's see where our sacrifice falls under. All right, so another way to know the nature about people is to see what kind of sacrifices they perform. All right, sacrifice means what kind of yagya the person is doing. What is he sacrificing? So a person who is in the mode of goodness, his sacrifices will be of this nature, performed according to the scriptures. Okay, the scriptures say you should do this at this time to this person. Okay, and then he does this as the matter of duty, not for other reasons. All right, and he desires no reward, out of duty, selfless. Okay, so the best sacrifice is sankirtan, for example, because when you do sankirtan, you do not expect money and you want to give the benefit to everybody. So this is the proper yagya. Okay, so every day we can do this at home in front of your altar or with your chanting beads. This is the best yagya that you can do every day. Okay, you don't need huge, big, the kunda, right? The yagya, you don't have to arrange the bricks and put ghee, so much of expensive ghee and milk called brahmanas. No, you don't have to do that. Okay, so those days they did that. Those days, this is the way to do to please the Lord. They will do yagya. The Lord will come, all the devas will come and fulfill their wishes. Sometimes they do sacrifice to give new life to cows, sick cows and horses. All right, people will argue in Vedic time also people do sacrifice. They sacrifice huge horses and cows. Yes, but why they are done? They are done by pure Brahmana, with pure mantras. Everything is first class purity because they rejuvenate the animal, not slaughter, burn them or slaughter them to feed our belly. Okay, so this is the reason they used to do that. They call Rajasuya sacrifice. So Rajasuya sacrifice is where they sacrifice horses to give them new life. Okay, sometimes the Brahmanas do this to test their power, but the animal come back to life or rejuvenated. So there were no loss of life. Okay, so that is the difference of sacrifices in Vedic time and sacrifices now. Okay, they slaughter goat to feed the goddess. Actually, that is also, I have already checked. The goddess never eats meat. All right, so it's the people around that they want to eat. Okay, so I've been telling my people around me, my cousins, they used to do that before. Now they are actually gradually stopping. Recently, many people are realizing that, okay, we've been blindly following tradition. Why would we want to do that? You know? Okay, so hopefully the animal sacrifice will end soon for good. Okay, next, sacrifice in the mode of passion. Okay, this one very straightforward, right? They are performed for some material benefit for the sake of pride. Okay, sometimes they call so many people, look, I'm doing such a big homa. I'm such an important person. I can afford this yagya. Okay, this feeds their pride. And then number two, for material benefit, I want great wealth. Okay, I want to do this homa. I want to get great wealth. So that is one example. And to show people, look, I'm so religious. Look at what I can afford. I can do homa. Okay, so this is the nature of the mode of passion, to get some result. So always remember this. Okay, and then look at this picture here. This is a fire, and there are so many snakes going into the fire. Anybody knows what story is this? Okay, do you remember the part that Parishin Maharaj put a dead snake on the Muni's neck, and then the son came back and he noticed there's a dead snake on the father's neck, and he found out it is King Parikshit that put the dead snake on my dad. I curse King Parikshit to die within 7 days. Okay, so that is his son, Shringa, I think. So this story went to Parikshit's son. Parikshit's son, Janamejaya, got to know that the father has been cursed to be bitten by a snake and he is scheduled to die in 7 days. So what Janamejaya did, he had a big sacrifice. He had a big sacrifice and he made all the snakes come and fall and die in the fire. Now this fire, with the intention to have certain result, is done in the mode of passion. Okay, can follow, can understand? I've told this story before. Okay, so I'm repeating. So if you are following me for level 3, then probably I'll repeat that also. So I hope you can remember some information. All right, so the sacrifice which is not meant for Lord Vishnu will create bondage in this material world. Okay, this one also we covered in Bhagavad Gita. Sacrifice has to be done for Lord Vishnu. All right, last, sacrifice in the mode of ignorance. Number 1, not following any rules and regulations, of course, right? No food distributed, ignorance. No chanting of mantras, ignorance. Done without faith, simply doing out of some blood boil. Can you see here? What is this? Rusohan, right? Riot. Burn this, burn that, burn the bus, burn these people, burn this house. All this done without any guidance or any, simply doing. All right. And even if you engage priests and you do not pay them dakshina, it's a sacrifice in the mode of ignorance. So food, prasad must be distributed, scripture must be followed, mantra has to be chanted, brahmanas or pujaris has to be compensated, and you have to have faith. Okay. All right, so this is some story, don't know what they are burning, some vehicles and everything, whatever they burn. This is also fire, things are also burning, but you can't call that a sacrifice. So this is sacrifice in the mode of ignorance. Okay. Right, so one person could be doing, having said that, one person could be doing yagya in the mode of goodness, one person can be doing in the mode of ignorance, all depends on their consciousness. So we need to consider their the state of their consciousness. All right. So we have done faith or worship, we have done food, we have done sacrifice. What is next? What is next?
Austerity.
Austerity, very good. Okay, so before we move on, the sacrifice, right? You have to make sure that we can differentiate between these two things. What we want out of the sacrifice. Do we want worldly possessions, or we want transcendental knowledge? Okay, so that's why Lord Vishnu is called Yagya Purusha. So everything we have to do for his pleasure. However, Krishna also said in earlier chapters, from the beginning of time, yagyas has been done for the devas. So when you do yagya for the devas, what do they give us? Do you remember?
Give
What did they give?
rain service.
Yes. With the rain, what we get?
Harvesting.
Yes, very good. So you remember the grains, and then we eat. So whatever we eat, we offer them again. So it's like a cycle. It's gratitude. Okay, so we are encouraged to do that. This has been prescribed in the Vedas. Okay, so we are entering austerity. So austerity, we have body, mind, and speech. Okay, so let's go to body, something that we can do. All right, so the first picture shows offering arati to the Lord or to spiritual master. Okay, so in Bhagavad Gita 17:14, if you can read this, it's white in color. Let me read. Yeah, the austerity of the body consists in this: worship of the Supreme Lord, the person doing aratis like that, right? The puja, the spiritual master. The worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, and superiors. These are all about showing respect to people who are superior to us, like Guru, Supreme Lord, Guru, Brahmanas, and superiors like father and mother. So this actually matches with one of our Tamil saying. Who remembers that? I think I said this in level 1, but anybody remembers that?
Mata Pita Guru Devi.
Correct. So it's important that we pay respect to all of that. That comes under austerity of body. Okay, what else? Cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. Okay, cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. It's not easy to maintain this, you know. Maintaining this is an austerity. Every morning you wake up, shower. That is cleanliness. Austerity, isn't it? Simplicity, being simple. You may have so much of money. You're so tempted to buy a Ferrari, but no, want to drive my V juga. So this is simplicity. It's not easy, you know, it's not easy to be simple. Celibacy. Celibacy means brahmacharyam. Before you get married, you don't have a relationship with either boy or girl, or female or male or female. This is celibacy. Being celibate is also austerity. And what is that? Last one is non-violence. Okay, being non-violence also is not easy. So whatever that is not really easy to do, these are austerity, but it will pay off. Okay, this is as Krishna mentioned, you do all this. This is the austerity of body. Okay, next is speech. The austerity of speech is speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and regularly reciting Vedic literature. This is austerity of speech. So we are not entering the 3 modes yet under the austerity, but I'm just giving the big category of austerity. Austerity can be in terms of body, speech, and mind. So speech, speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, not agitating to others. Okay, so if we don't want to get agitated by others, then we don't want to say anything that can agitate others. So it's not easy, you know, it's not easy, especially if you are working or you have children. All right, it's not easy to follow this, but this is austerity. We have to do that. Okay, mind. Satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. So it's about feeling satisfied, not always feel I'm not satisfied, I want more, I want more, I want more. So that means the mind is not austere. Simplicity is also mind's austerity. Gravity means you are grounded, you know where you stand, where you are. Okay, not simply lose control over things. Self-control, purification of one's existence. So we try to purify ourselves. So later we will see how we do that. Okay, are the austerities of the mind, because these are the places where the lusts are sitting. This one we will cover in level 3 in detail. Yashoda Priya Mataji, remember? What are the 3 places lust sitting? 3 places. Yeah.
Last, you means greed and anger. Last.
No, 3 places of sitting of lust. Where lust sits on 3 places. What are the 3 places?
3 places.
Senses.
Oh, you mean senses, mind, and senses, mind, and ego.
Intelligence.
Intelligent.
Yeah. So okay, so we will learn that in level 3. Okay, so we move to the okay, this one we did already. Yeah. Austerity of the body consists in worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, spiritual master, and superiors like the father and mother, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. Okay, this one we did already. Okay, this one also we did it. Okay. So some tips here before we speak, we have to analyze ourselves. Is it true? Is it pleasing? Is it beneficial? Is it agitating or is it not agitating? So if we keep practicing like this, then we will be very careful what we are speaking. Okay. So only teachers can correct their students a little stern, but we can't be going and correcting everybody. So good luck to all of us to follow this austerity of speech. It's called speech filters. Okay, next. This is austerity of the mind. Okay, so now we go to the 3 modes. Yeah. Okay, so austerity we have in goodness, passion, and ignorance. Austerity in the mode of goodness means doing the austerity with transcendental faith, not expecting material benefit. Okay, the motive should be only to please the Supreme. For example, fasting. Look at this here, Hiranyakashipu. He was also fasting. He meditated until his body remained bones only. His body was covered by anthill. So if you're covered by anthill, can you imagine the amount of bites that he actually taken in? Okay. He is also austere. But why he was so austere? Because he wants to meet Lord Brahma and get some boons, because he wants to defeat Lord Vishnu. Okay, so he has some motives. All right, so this is passion, austerity in the mode of passion. Okay, so in the mode of goodness, the devotees, the spiritual practitioners, they perform various fastings like Ekadasi. Of course, we have other fastings also, isn't it? We have some people are fasting during the Margali month, and then I'm not sure Pradosham, is it? Is it fasting or vegetarian? I'm not sure about that, but I remember people do fast on these days. For Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we fast on Ekadasis, the appearance days of the Lord, Supreme Lord, like Krishna Janmashtami, and the appearance day of the incarnations like Nityananda Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Narsingha Chaturdashi, what else? Ramanavami, we have Vamana Dev appearance, Varaha Dev's appearance. What else, Mataji? Radharani's appearance, Balaram Purnima. I think these are the main ones. We don't fast on Parasuram appearance days, but these are the main avatars that we fast. Okay, so that is austerity in the mode of goodness, where the fasting is done to please the Lord, to grab more spiritual mercy, not for us, not to detox. Okay, it's not intermittent fasting to get some weight loss, things like that. Of course, you might get that as a side effect, but that shouldn't be the ultimate motive. All right, because when during these fasting days, you reduce the demands of your belly, your mouth, and everything, and increase it with chanting and reading, or hearing or associating. So that's how you reduce the demands of the body, you increase the devotional services. So those days are special for that. Okay, so that's austerity in the mode of goodness. We have austerity in the mode of passion, which I just explained by Hiranyakashipu. Okay, next is ignorance. Austerity is done out of foolishness by performing self-torture or torturing others, destroying self or injuring others. Okay, so we want to avoid that as well. Okay, any questions on this part here, Lata Mataji?
No.
I'm sure you have seen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen, of course, we have also in our own in our own Hinduism, we have this. Okay, so people need to come out and read scriptures. Is this prescribed in scriptures, or it has been carried on traditionally and we are just following the tradition? So it has to be substantiated. For a matter of fact, it has to be substantiated, otherwise we are just following blindly. And we have some activities in Philippines. They sacrifice dogs and they whack their body with the belt, you know. So all this, even there are people will oppose to that. So these are all in the mode of ignorance. They call that austerity, but it's in the mode of ignorance. Self-torture and torturing others, no way. Okay, you don't allow that to be done to you, not to your children. Okay, so that. So we are done worship, food, austerity. We are moving to, what is the last one?
Charity.
Charity, very good. So charity is very important because day in, day out, we are doing charity, and we want to be very careful that we don't want to be bound by the activity that we do wrongly. Okay. Charity in the mode of goodness, given dutifully. Okay. If you invite a Brahmana to your house, then you give charity to him. Okay. No expectation of return. If I give you this, can you give me this next time? Okay. No. At proper place and proper time. Also, it has to be followed. Okay. And to a worthy person. We don't want to give charity to a person who may seemingly like so frail and gonna die anytime, but you know for a fact that he's going to go to some alcohol shop, or he's going to buy some cigarettes or drugs or numbers. Okay, I have caught many people doing this, because when I ask, do you want food, they say don't want. Why not? You're hungry, right? So they get angry, so they want money. Okay, they have two legs, two hands, perfectly fine. So why they can't work? Okay, so if you see sometimes blind people also, they sell tissue or they sing something. So this kind of people, you can put some donation and you can buy the tissue, because you're going to use it anyway and you're going to help them. That is fine. Okay, but otherwise, I encourage you all, do not give money to anybody without knowing how it's going to be spent. Because even though you give the money and you think you're detached out from the money, but if he's going to buy something, like he's going to buy meat and eat, or he's going to buy cigarette and smoke, or he's going to drink something and then he's going to hit somebody, that karma will come back to us. Okay, so karma works that way. So we have to be very careful. That is why this knowledge is there for us to be careful where we are spending the money. All right, passion, with expectation of return, with desire for fruits, in a grudging mood. So the number 1 and number 2 is like, look at me, please put my name on the board. I'm giving this much of money. Okay, so we don't want that. Number 2, now the third one, I'm not interested to give money, but I have to because everybody is giving. So this is in grudging mode. We don't want to do that too. Okay. All right. So it's not like you're putting 100 ringgit inside the undil in the temple and then you expect the Lord give you 100 times more. So this one also we don't want to do. Anything with expectation is in the mode of passion, whether it's a austerity or charity. Okay. Next, charity in the mode of ignorance. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, at impure place, at improper time, to unworthy persons without proper attention and respect. Means you totally don't know why you're giving the charity. So we don't want to do that as well. So the best is to be here and avoid giving charity to people who you don't know how they will engage your money. So this is why our devotees, they go around asking donation in the name of food distribution, book donation, book purchases, donation to build temple, because we don't know how they earn the money. We don't know what kind of activity. Probably they also not aware that this work can give them bad karma or good karma. They don't know. So we go out and encourage them to give some money to help in work of Krishna consciousness, because the moment that money is engaged in Krishna conscious work, then their earning pretty much will be purified. So you are actually helping them. Okay, it's not like we do not have money, but we are helping them to engage their earned money to purify. So ultimately, we want to purify the existence. So that will be counted. Krishna will remember that, oh, this person's money. Okay, buy some simple flowers and give Lord when you go to temple. It counts. Give money for the food distribution. Recently, we had the flood distribution, right? So many students from our Gita Gyan group gave a lot of donations. So all this will benefit like that. And then every time there's a festival, we will share the donation. Anybody would like to give donation for this temple festival? And some Gita Gyan students also will give. There are people giving only 30 ringgit, 50 ringgit. We never say no, oh, this no amount is too small. You never know the 30 ringgit will feed how many prasad, how many flowers going into the altar, whether the money is going to stitch the dresses of the Lord, you'll never know. Okay, so your money goes a very long way. Okay, so this is how we help people as well spiritually. Okay, so we have done all that, right? So who can tell me all that elements that we covered, all the aspects we covered under the 3 modes?
Me?
Worship,
Yes,
food, sacrifice, austerity, and charity.
very good. Okay, thank you, Lata Mataji. Okay, so last one is Om Tat Sat. Let's have somebody to read this for us, please.
Mataji?
Yes, can.
From the beginning of creation, the 3 words Om Tat Sat were used to indicate the supreme absolute truth. These 3 symbolic representations were used by Brahmanas while chanting the hymns of the Vedas and giving sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme.
Okay. So this Om Tat Sat is another name to refer to the Supreme Lord. Okay, so usually this name is recited by Brahmanas when they do sacrifices. Okay, sometime before the class also we will say that, because whatever we do, we want to purify it by saying Om Tat Sat, because it's like saying whatever I'm doing for the pleasure of the Supreme, because we don't want to be in the mode of ignorance, we don't want to be in the mode of passion. Okay, ultimately it has to be done in the mode of goodness or transcendental mode, which means only for the pleasure of the Lord, not for me, not in a monetary form or in any other form. Okay, no benefits or rewards whatsoever. Okay, so now we will see the meaning of each of these words. Om Tat Sat are the words taken from Vedic hymns indicating the absolute truth, Lord Krishna. Om means transcendentally undertaking performances of sacrifice, charity, and penance in accordance with scriptural regulations. Begin always with Om to attain the Supreme. So every time we start our class, what was the first prayer that we say? The one that I say.
Om Ajnana Timiraya.
Very good, yes. And then Prabhupada Pranam also, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya. So the Om is the beginning, auspicious beginning to whatever we do. Tat means without desiring fruitive results, one should perform various kinds of sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word Tat. So when you say Tat, that means I don't want any rewards. Okay. Sat, the absolute truth, is the objective of the devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word Sat. So why are we doing certain things? It's ultimately for the pleasure of the Lord. So Om is a good beginning. Tat, without desiring any result. Sat means for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So Om Tat Sat. Okay. Next. Okay, this is the conclusion. The penance, sacrifice, charity, and food, when aimed at the Supreme Om Tat Sat, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they become means for spiritual elevation. So when we modify our lifestyle to have all our worship or food, charity, austerity in the mode of goodness, then we are on the way for spiritual elevation. Okay. Yeah, food, sacrifice, austerity, and charity. Okay, so how do we purify our existence? Through food. Remember, food, sacrifice, austerity, and charity. So we are going in this sequence, right? So how do we get the best out of the food? Mahaprashadam. Okay, they are no more in the mode of goodness, they are in the mode of pure goodness. It's called transcendental because the food is not ordinary beans, grains, and vegetable. They are offered to Supreme Lord, and we are taking it as prashadam, because Vegetarians also involve killing of living entities, other living entities, while cooking, while while growing, while harvesting. So a lot of living entities can die, and the plants that we take and eat also are actually dying, even though they regrow. But some plants, we are actually killing them also, right? Technically. So whatever little karma remains there when we offer to the Lord, it will be sanctified. So we are only taking the prasad. Okay, this is the object of sacrifice. Okay, so that's how we can purify our existence through our eating habits. Next is sacrifice. So the best sacrifice is Sankirtana Yagya. Like I say, you don't have to call qualified Brahmana and spend so much of money paying them. Pure ghee, pure milk, pure things, preparing your place. Not everybody has the facility to do, or the time, or the energy. Okay, so what we do Sankirtana Yagya. Whatever result was obtained in Satya Yuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dwapara Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet, can be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This is the best sacrifice. Okay, so there are places where they had no rain, they performed this and the rain came. So there was a history in Prabhupada's pastime. All right. Next, austerity. It should be aimed at the supreme. Remember the fasting I mentioned, Ekadasi and Janmashtami. Okay, that one. And charity also I mentioned. You are actually helping in propagating Krishna consciousness by donating money for book distribution, building Krishna temples, and prasadam distribution. Okay, so it's very dynamic. Krishna consciousness is very dynamic. Money can be spent and dedicated in various ways. Okay, so that's about it. Thank you. Any questions? Oh, wow. I finished. All right, on time. Okay. Any questions?
No.
Okay. If no questions,